Well, as is always, I don't have the money. Something's tore up, so it's a case of do a little fix so you can run the machine, so you can make the money, so you can fix the damn machine. And it's like the new American way of life. It's just there's no money left in anything. It costs a fortune to do anything industrial, and there's very little profit in it, and that's just life. I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to endure it and wait for the Lord to come and take me back home. At any rate, this is a bendix off of a delco 30MT starter from a 353. I got to add a little bit of life to it, build the teeth up. You can see I got not a lot to work with here. I got the end flattened, and I can see there's probably 1 or 2 more dabs of weld I may have to put on there, which stinks because, you know, I had to preheat it, weld it, interpass heat it, post heat it, just to keep the thing from cracking. It's a hardened gear, so naturally it's going to be a little harder now. But no clinking, no plinking. Hasn't made any noises. So I've done stupid stuff like this before, the third world style. I think it'll work. So this is the starter out of another machine, which has also got a problem. Same type, 37MT. And this is a good gear. And this is the one that was all chewed up. This might be a dumb idea, and it might be a great idea, I'm not sure. I feel like making the easy gear to get out is obviously the one on the starter, yet they're hardened. They're super hard. The gear on the flywheel gets chewed up, and the gear on the starter seems to last. I always kind of felt like, why don't we make a soft replaceable starter gear so that there's no question I don't have to pull off the transmission or the pump to change the ring gear, because it's a bigger job. I would much rather pull the starter 2 or 3 times over the life of a machine than to pull the engine or the driveline once. The body, the iron block of a starter, is part of your ground circuit. There's your hot lug, but all of this is your negative lug, your negative terminal. So we clamp these things, we rebuild them, then we paint them, paint all the pieces so it looks cute, and then we expect it to have good conductivity. How can it? The paint is an insulator. So file all that paint off, file up that paint so you got some good metal to metal, and that's some copper bearing paste. There's a electrically conductive anti-corrosion type stuff, and that's going to help give me a better starting torque. So very simple, easy thing to do that's easy to overlook as well. Alright, so pull the solenoid apart. Here's what's inside of these. You got these lugs. One sits in here like this. It's got a little clip that's preventing it. That button head sits on this copper washer, okay? There's another one sitting over here. This one's connected to the motor, but it's not touching. When you put juice to this one, it energizes this coil, which makes magnetism inside the body right here, which causes this bendix plunger, this iron core, tries to get sucked in. When that happens, it kicks out the bendix. The bendix has got a spring-loaded helical plunger, so that if the 2 teeth are lined up, if it's not staggered where it can enmesh, then what happens is the face of that tooth hits the face of the ring gear tooth, and this pivots. It rolls in a bit, which aligns. The ramps are to let this drop in, but so that's how you get your mesh, by smashing that bendix gear into the side of it and rolling it over until it aligns, and then the gear falls in and it runs. When that engine takes off, it's an overrunning clutch. So the engine takes off, and you let off the key, and the spring pulls the bendix back. Now that end of this iron core bumps the interior. There's that plunger. My finger's popping that up and down. So this gets hit. Boom, it gets hit like that. That is what engages the copper plunger to bridge the gap across the 2 terminals. We're going to see how well this plunger kicks out the bendix and see how fast that motor runs. Seems like it works pretty good. Didn't kick out that hard before, so. Trying to make the solenoid fail, trying to make the solenoid stick. Seems pretty good to me. Cut. Now this is the Delco 30MT that I've gone through. I didn't put any new parts in it. All I did was file and clean and sand, clean up all the end caps, get all the corrosion off. Everywhere that these body pieces come together, all the corrosion's been removed. And I've put on copper paste, and I've cleaned up all my ground positions, all my wire terminals, copper paste on the block after it was degreased and filed up. This is a 30MT. You can tell it's a 30MT because it's got a slide style, saddle style solenoid. It's got this small end cap, and it's got one bolt that holds the, or this countersunk screw. There's one right there. There's 4 of them, but there's 1 per unit. If you had 2, it would be bigger than a 30. But my uncle's a starter guy, and I described it to him. He said, "Yep, that's a 30MT." So let's see here. Perfect. Make sure I'm not dreaming, because it never started like this before. Boy, I could not ask for more. I haven't heard that starter skip once. Hasn't click-clacked a single time. Hasn't ground a tooth. Hasn't found a stuck spot. I'm absolutely thrilled. Praise the Lord. Thanks for watching. God bless.